Hey everybody, what is going on? This is Scott Garber back in the saddle of the Profluence Sports Podcast, where we are highlighting founders, investors, executives across the sports business landscape. Today, I'm excited to welcome my good friend and CEO of Peak Conference, Chad Wilton, to the show. Chad, my man, how we doing today?
We are doing good. Thanks for the invite to join the podcast. Always a pleasure. Thanks, Scott.
I love it. Well, Chad, we're super excited, as we stare down the barrel of the first year of Peak. It is a timely conversation. If you live off of social media, you are doing yourself a disservice. If you are on social media, Peak has shown up in your ads, not 100 times. Today, we're going to unpack what to expect at the conference, what to get excited for, and all the greatness that's going to come out of it. So, Chad, for our first-time listeners, give everybody a little insight to the origination of Peak, where you guys saw this opportunity, and what the build has been like over the last year to ultimately get to this point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been on the podcast before. I think it was Pet Cash. We talked about really my background is building events. I've done it for over a decade, and it's rare that there is an opportunity to build in such an exciting, fun industry. Not only that, but within the U.S. U.S. normally has the biggest events in any industry. We saw a huge opportunity to build something unique. We never want to build where others are already doing it really well. And for us, really, there wasn't a flagship for sports tech and innovation in the U.S. It's really a disservice for the industry. There's lots of really good events across the board, for sure, but nothing of the scale in which we build. And the types of groups that we bring together. I always say we like to bring together the builders. We got to bring together the executives because they're the ones that need the tech, and then of course the investors because they're the ones to help get those startups off the ground. That's the ecosystem we build for. It's obviously very in line with Profluence too. So yeah, we saw a gap and we said we're the ones to build it.
No, it's really cool, and Chad, it's interesting, coming from this side of the fence and being in the industry forever, fragmentation continues to come up, right? It's a word, regardless of what level you're at, youth, college, pro, national governing body, it always seems like there is not as much continuity in this space. Talk to us about how you took the theory of bringing everyone together in a conference, and what is that to sort of leading up to it with the global pitch conferences and bringing together groups? Just give us a little insight to what that process and how it's stood up.
Man, I could go so many different directions. I think one of the really cool things about Peak is, and I'm not like doing that political thing where you ask me a question, I might not have the specific answer and I just say whatever I want to say. That's not what I'm doing right now. But I think one thing is, and it's built into our tagline, is we're the global home of sports tech and innovation. So early on, like when we first started talking, Scott, it was about how do we not make sure that this just isn't like the biggest representation of what's going on in the US right now, whether it's from like youth, collegiate to pro, but how do we make sure that we're also addressing the problems that are happening across the board globally? So early on, we had to bring on partners to position us to have delegations coming in from all over the world. So really strong delegations coming in from Europe. Obviously, with our partnership with GSIC and Microsoft, they're hosting the Groundbreakers Challenge, which what you just referenced. And that's one of the more exciting activations that we have going on at Peak because it really addresses what we're trying to do at the core is problem and solution. We're not just having people come up on stage and talk about how good their products are. We want to frame the conversations around what problems is FIFA. Legitimately, FIFA is coming and saying they've already shared their problem statements. They're sharing the problems, and we go to our startup community and say, who can solve this? And then we're selecting, I think as of tomorrow, we'll have the startups selected, and they'll be able to go on stage and talk about the solutions that they put forward. And so I'm trying to formulate an answer for the question, but really it's about unifying on a global scale all the right players and putting the startups in the right room with everyone to not just have one-way conversations, one-way directed conversations, and really make it about all representations, all stakeholders of driving the sport forward. It's such a fun question you ask, but there's so many different directions to go, and hopefully I kind of answered it.
No, that's spot on, man. And there's no wrong answer, right? It's I think what's really exciting is the sporting the sport business ecosystem is at such a unique inflection point, as is the rest of the world. We see other vertical markets going through a ton of shifts. What's interesting is our asset class is so young, right? And it's maturing, which allows us to be a little bit more nimble. And, we couldn't be more excited to put the shoulder to the plow with Peak and start to bring all of the right constituents together to solve real world problems. And in a world where we have tools at our fingertips, it feels like we can have these honest conversations and make them realities quicker than ever before. Chad, give the listeners a little insight for year one, what to expect when when we get to Vegas. It's at the Fontainebleau. Roll out the carpet, give us a little sneak peek as to what's going on, Pike.
Yeah, it's ultimately we have 2 full days where the expo is completely open, stages are open, all access pass. There's no closed doors where you can't access something that we're putting on at Peak. But the day before that, when people come into Vegas, they can come up, register, and then we'll kick things off with the welcome reception. I just got approval. We're going to have the ultimate fighting bots. Have you heard about this?
I have these. I mean, that is futuristic sports if I've ever heard a display of it.
Yeah. A great team, fantastic team. They approached us. They wanted to activate, and we're like, we'll put that on the opening reception. And there's a cage, and robots will be going after it. They're trying to. It's very much on the emerging leagues category, and they're trying to get this off the ground. They're obviously in a position where they're looking for funding, so that's perfect for any builder. Obviously coming to Peak, but we'll have that at the opening reception. We'll have free drinks, etc. And it's really just the warm up, because that next day it is full on. Doors open, I think 8, registration stages at 9, and both stages content is going from 9 to 5. We've got 90 to 100 different exhibitors in the Tech Expo. So I always say, when you walk through the front doors, you can actually touch, see, feel the entire sports tech ecosystem. You'll be hit right in the face with so many different sports tech companies and the founders there. We really ensure that a lot of the founders are there, because what better representation? We don't necessarily just want the salespeople there. We want to actually be able to talk to the founders. So there's all of that. We got NBA Launchpad activating with 10 plus of their startups from the recent cohort. We've got Australian Sports Technology Network bringing in delegation of their startups. We've got golf simulator with cash prizes. We're building a sports bar. We've got so many different things going on throughout both of those days. And then I'm going to plug, you guys are obviously closing us out with the official closing party. Profluence and Citron Cooperman hosting open bar party at Live Beach Club for the closeout. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun too. There is so much packed. We're obviously working on releasing more of a detailed schedule. The programming is insane. I think we're pushing the 100 speaker mark. The lineup's incredible. I couldn't be more proud of the team putting that together. There is so much still to release in less than 4 weeks. It's wild. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Let's go. This is always so neat though, because I think you're approaching this as a founder, right? And as a first year, right? So it feels like the relatability when you're talking innovation to these folks and what you're putting on. You're not just sitting on the ivory tower and talking down, right? You're actively building it as well. Chad, I'm curious, over the course of this build and leading up to it, every founder has unique highs and lows in their journey. What's been an unexpected piece that you can share with the listeners through the last year of building Peak, staring down the barrel of your first one? Give me one of the unexpected learnings you had.
Ooh, learnings. I think one thing I do want to say is when we conceptualized Peak and we saw the opportunity, you never really know if you've missed something and you got it wrong. But when we launched, the community got behind it so fast. I call them champions. We have so many freaking champions getting behind it because it's something that they've been missing. It's something that they want. So it wasn't a surprise. You need that when you do these kind of events. You need to have the community support, but you don't know if you're ever going to get it. And you don't know when you're going to get it. And we got it really quickly. I think that was one thing that stood out most. Challenges, I've actually built minimal events in Vegas. And so Vegas is just, it's incredible for so many reasons, but it's its own beast, I won't go into the details, but Vegas is a tricky one, but it's just so exciting to build in a place that's investing so much in sports. We've got VP of sales from which was previously Legends Global, but now she's strictly A's Ballpark. She's coming on stage to talk about what innovations that they're actually putting in place when they build this out. You can obviously, all attendees can go check out the A's Ballpark experience, where you can actually walk through and make it feel like you're at the stadium there. But there's so much investment going on into Vegas and sports that it is really a perfect place for us to be for right now.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, unexpected things. Yeah, Vegas it just comes. I've done this so many times before. You know,
Yep.
I've built through COVID. I've large scale international events company navigating through COVID. Like I've kind of my skin's pretty thick at this point.
I love it.
But yeah, it's all
I
good.
love it.
It's all good.
So a couple more questions, and then we're going to sort of turn the corner. This will be abbreviated episode, but really just focusing on the excitement around the event here. Chad, I'm curious. We're watching so much innovation come through the sporting lens now. Of the exhibitors and folks that are speaking, how much has AI dominated the talk tracks and the sort of pulse of the room? Are you seeing an overwhelming amount of it, or is there a nice balance? What does that look like?
I said this from the beginning, like, I talked to my program team. They're like, we got to have tracks specifically on AI. I'm like, if a company if they're not leveraging AI, if that company isn't already AI, we probably don't even want them at the show. So yeah, every company is leveraging AI. You're falling short if you're not. Like the spread on stage is good. We're doing our best. Like we're trying to make sure we cover as much athlete tech to smart venue to emerging leagues we want to reference, because they're the ones starting with first principles and they're the ones that get to actually say, this is how we want to build it. We're not going to screw legacy systems. So that's really relevant to what we're trying to build as well. I think what's really interesting, and I didn't expect this, is we've got over 100, and let's say, just to be safe, over 100 startups coming, and a good chunk of them are athlete tech. And I thought it was going to be like fan engagement and media, but a ton are athlete tech, which is really
interesting.
Cool. Yeah, it is interesting. We had so many. We did obviously the startup qualifiers with you guys, and then STX for the global ones, and the finalists are looking really strong. So we'll be able to do that live on stage.
Cool.
The startup lineup is insane. It was tricky to get them. We did everything we can. We're very startup friendly. We've discounted a lot to get the startups into the show. We know that they're going to support us in the future years, but yeah, it's going to be a really awesome mix of startups, scale ups, sport execs, and investors. It's going to be awesome. Yeah,
I'm super excited, man. And I mean, look, I've attended trade shows, the PGA show, Racket X. We've watched each sport start to be able to go ahead and take this exhibitor approach mixed with, premium content and thought leaders. And then really this communal vibe. It's so exciting that it's finally coming to the picks and shovels that are building the industry. Chad, give the listeners a little insight. Is it too late to register? Are you still accepting sponsors, general admission? Give us a little insight into the last push as as we get this thing going.
Yeah, pretty sure booths are sold out. If you're interested in exhibiting, reach out to me or sales@peakomp.com. There's a couple sponsorships left for sure. Attendees, absolutely, but the prices just keep going up. Obviously, that's just the name of the game. You don't want to pay full door price for every. I've said it before. I think a mailer went out, but for every Profluence member, you get 50% off. So you just go peakomp.com/Profluence. But absolutely. We welcome as many attendees as we want. We're definitely going to be pushing that 1,000 mark. And hopefully this boosts it as well.
Well, listen, we're super excited. We're screaming it from the mountaintops. If you are not going to Peak, we highly encourage that you get out there, because a lot of this business right now is done around tentpole moments and virtually, right? And this is going to be such a cool moment to see the folks that have been on podcasts that we've had in virtual sessions to come in and feel human again, right? And I think that's the coolest piece of all of this, Chad, is what you guys are creating is an experience that supersedes sport, right? It brings good humans together and, really gives us the ability to shape what the future of this ecosystem looks like. And so, from the Profluence team, we're beyond excited. We're going to drop the discount link behind this to make sure that all of our members are taken care of. Chad, closing words, man. Say it now or forever hold your peace, and we'll hear it in person. But what do you want the listeners to leave with from here?
Yeah, and the listeners, you got to think, like we've said this from the beginning. Like Peak is very much the offline version of Profluence, and I know you guys do your events, but but it's really similar in the sense that we're trying to bring together builders, investors, and the right executives. If you're a builder, you got to be at peak, because obviously if you're looking for investment, it's there. If you're looking for proof of concept, it's there. You want to meet sport executives that say these are the problems that we're facing. If you're investors, it's probably the highest density deal flow you'll ever get to see in real life. So if you're not there, it kind of makes it silly. But yeah, I think we welcome the Profluence community. We're really in line with what you guys are building. So anyone's listening, use the discount code.
No, I love it. No, that sounds great. And I'm going to bring us home, Chad, with the power of partnership and the power of alignment. It has been so incredibly neat to watch someone from outside the industry come in as a proficient operator and really have the playbook, but learn how to make friends in the industry. And I think that's where all this starts. And so at minimum, there's going to be 1,000 new friends that you'll get to meet at Peak. And then Profluence is the long tail of that to continue on the conversations and the building and the resources. But it's just a hats off to watch in such a competitive world where it feels dog eat dog. It's very refreshing to watch the way that Peak has come to life, and I believe will have long legs and create meaningful roots for trees that we might not ever sit under. So for the Profluence team, Chad, thank you for what you've done for the industry. We can't wait to celebrate and bring this all to life in April. And if you're not going to Peak, make sure you sign up. Make sure you go on Instagram and get fed all their crazy fun ads. Exactly. And we look forward to seeing everybody in Las Vegas. Chad, thanks a lot, man. We'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Appreciate it. See you guys.